Welcome to another collection of failures. Scammers whose scams were just going nowhere. Flora would like to start you off. Flora was going to try ever so hard to play this one straight. She really was. But sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, it's really hard. Good morning, Flora. How are you doing today? Said Dave William. Good morning, said Flora. Where are you from? He asked. I live in Somerset. Where are you from? I'm from Brazil, but currently live in Anchorage, Alaska. That sounds very cold and very remote, said Flora. How's your family? Hope you're all doing pretty well, he said. They're all fine, thanks, she said. That's fine, he replied. Tell me what Anchorage is like, asked Flora. I had a friend who went there. She said there are lots of very ancient temples there. You know, the well-known ancient temples of Anchorage. Oh, wait, maybe that's somewhere else. Yeah, he said, is a very nice place to visit. And if the person that you're talking to tries to tell you that the place where they claim to live is a very nice place, then you know you're talking to a scammer, because they've never been to the place where they're claiming to be living and have no idea what it's like. I'll tell you more about it when we get to know each other. Another clue that you're talking to a scammer who can't tell you about the place where they claim to live. Oh, said Flora, I'd really like you to tell me about it now. My friend loved it. I think she went camel riding. Would that be right? Yeah, he said. So tell me more about yourself. Are you married with kids? I'm divorced with a daughter and a granddaughter, she said. How old your daughter are they? He said. Are you there? My daughter's 51 and my granddaughter's 30. Is it very warm in Anchorage? She said. I guess it is if you have camels. I've always wanted to ride a camel. Good, he said. Your daughter and granddaughter are doing great. The weather here is nice and cool. Beautiful breeze this morning. Another clue that he has no idea what it's like. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning in Anchorage at the time. It was snowing and it was about -1 degree. Sounds lovely, said Flora. How long have you lived there? I've been living here for over 11 years now, said our man, who apparently couldn't look out the window. Well, I suppose you couldn't at 5 o'clock in the morning, it would be dark. What about you? How long have you been living in Somerset? He asked. I've been here for just under a year, said Flora. I was in Woking before that. Oh, that sounds good, he said. Why? She asked. Do you know Woking? What working are you talking about? He asked. I'm retired, she said. What do you mean? I haven't been to Woking yet, he said. I guess it's fine living there. I would love to travel and visit different places. What are you doing for a living before getting retired? I was the secretary in a firm of solicitors, she said. What do you do? Interesting, he said. I appreciate your work. It was interesting, she said. What do you do? I work as a rig departmental supervisor and sole contractor in supply of crude oil, chemicals for refining. I guess you know about the rig, he said. Why do you guess I know about the rig? Said Flora. Which rig? I don't even know what most of that means. Well, explained Google, or whichever of the latest chat AI apps our scammer was using. A rig is a platform built in the middle of a sea or shore to drill crude oil beneath the Earth's surface and refine the crude oil to various stages to obtain gas and other fuel substance for the final consumers to use. Yes, I know that, said Flora, but I didn't understand any of the stuff about being a departmental supervisor and a sole contractor. Sounds complicated. Okay, he said. Any chance of explaining? Said Flora. Explaining what? Sorry, I'm busy working right now. I don't have time. What all that stuff about being a departmental supervisor and a sole contractor means? I guess you're busy contracting. Hope there isn't too much shrinkage. Our man sent a thumbs up. And it was about at this point when Flora's mission to play it straight took a nosedive. Are you back? She asked a bit later. Hello, he said. Hi, said Flora. How are you doing? He asked. You already asked me that, said Flora. Did you have a busy day at work? All that supervising and contracting? I'm so much busy at work, he said, and my connection is very bad. Can you try and get me a connection? He asked. I don't have any connections, said Flora. I'm retired. You could phone your nearest recruitment agency. I'm busy at work right now, he said. I can't get access to anything. I don't know if you can get me a $100 gift card. I have no idea what you're talking about, said Flora. Are you one of those scammers who ask people they don't know for money for some ridiculous reason that doesn't even make sense? Ask you for money? Doesn't mean I'm a scammer. said our scammer, asking for money. I'm so much busy at work, which I can't get access to anything. That's why I asked you to help with a $100 gift card. I have helped people I don't know. With time, we're gonna know each other more better. What does it mean, then? Asked Flora. It means help, okay? That will not make you poor, or whatever, he said. It's just that I couldn't got it myself, because I'm busy working. That's why I wanted you to help me with it. Thank you. Just help if you can. I'd really appreciate you for your kindness. In reply to him saying it means help, okay, Flora said it means you're telling such obvious lies that even a childish idiot like you must know how ridiculous you sound. If you can't do it, just say no, he said. I can't instead of all this you're saying to me. When I got free time, I will got it myself. Okay? That sounds like a good idea, said Flora, and since most of your time is free, you can go and get it any time you like. Goodbye. Thank you, he said. If not that I'm busy working, I could have got it. Okay? Okay, said Flora, so next time you're free you can get it yourself, as you clearly aren't working. You're too lazy and stupid for that. Goodbye. I can't get access to anything here right now, he said. Just try and understand me. How can I get access when I'm in the middle of sea? I know you can do it, he said. You just don't want to help me with it anymore. Oh, FGS, said Flora. How childish, idiotic and stupid can you be? I know perfectly well you're a Nigerian scammer. Grow up. To which our man replied, I have nothing much to say about this, but thank you. Goodbye, and disappeared. Joseph Dolph thought Persephone was the woman for him. Unsurprisingly, he's an orthopaedic surgeon military doctor. Hello, how are you doing? He asked. Good evening, said Persephone. I'm very well, thanks. Nice to meet you, he said. You're always welcome. Where are you texting? I'm really interested to get to know you. I'm on Orkney off the north coast of Scotland. Where are you? Sorry, my phone's ringing. Well, it really was. From Sacramento, California. I was born, raised in Spain. My mother is from Spain, he said. I am a military surgeon physician, currently here in Saudi Arabia on a contract with USAMAG, here in Saudi Arabia. My main field is paediatric orthopaedic surgery, sports medicine, hand surgery, joint replacement, foot and ankle surgery, orthopaedic oncology, bone tumour, spine surgery, and orthopaedic trauma, said our multi-talented doctor. But I have less than 2 months to fulfil my contract and go home, because it's not a question of adding years to life, but adding life to years. I'm looking forward to the end of the contract, so I can leave camp and focus on building my family. That's my main reason for reaching out to you. I'm employed by USAMAG, the United States Army Military Assistance Group in Saudi Arabia, located at Redstone Arsenal, Alabama. It's a security cooperation organisation under the Army Material Command, AMC. I hope you got your heads around that, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me about yourself, he said. Are you there? Hi! Why are you ignoring me? Oh no, said Persephone, not one of those entitled, impatient men that thinks I should be hanging on their every word and using my computer 24/7. I was out yesterday. That's a lot of specialisations. Did you have to study for each one? You must have spent about 20 years in medical school. Good morning, said our man. How was your night? Well, I got my doctorate in the United Kingdom, Manchester University. I'm also a graduate of the Army War College, West Point, United States of America. Now, I'm stationed here to work with, guess who? The USAMAG. I treat wounded soldiers here and also carry out surgery on them. Can we text on WhatsApp or Google Chat now? Always on here? I use Google Chat, she said, and gave him her email address. And so, of course, they moved to chat. And over on chat, our man said, Hi, it's me, Dr. Joseph Dolph. Found you, said Persephone. Great, he said. Are you retired or still working? I don't work. My divorce settlement supports me. Tell me about Saudi. Where are you? OK, I'll tell you all you wish to know about me. Hope you will do as well. I'm just asking you about Saudi, she said. What's the country like? As our man had never been anywhere near Saudi Arabia, he resorted to Wikipedia, and I won't read it all to you. Saudi Arabia, Wikipedia informed him, officially the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, is a country in southwestern Asia. It covers the bulk of the Arabian Peninsula and has a land mass of about 2,150,000 square kilometres. making it the 5th largest country in Asia, the 2nd largest in the Arab world, and the largest in Western Asia and the Middle East. It's bordered by the Red Sea to the west, Jordan, Iraq and Kuwait to the north, the Persian Gulf, Qatar and the United Arab Emirates to the east, Oman to the southeast, and Yemen to the south. And so it goes on. No, said Persephone, I didn't ask you to copy and paste an entire description of Saudi. I was hoping you'd describe it in your own words from your own experience, and to save shock horror I didn't copy and paste. This is where you got it from. And she copied and pasted the link to Wikipedia. On my own understanding, he said, I'm here because of the conflict. And it, not a copy and paste text from Wikipedia. I have a document page about Saudi. It was handed to me when I got approved to be on this contract. Don't tell me stupid lies, said Persephone. I can see perfectly well where it came from. Tell me about Saudi in your own words, please. Of course, our man couldn't do that. Please don't use rude words here, he said. Please don't lie to me here, said Persephone. We all respect that, he said. No, said Persephone, I don't respect liars who continue to lie. I don't lie, said our liar. Well, duh, obviously you do, said Persephone. I showed you where you copied and pasted it from. Please tell me you aren't really that stupid, or maybe you are. I'm a man of integrity, said our liar. Clearly that's another lie, said Persephone. Why don't you tell me about Saudi in your own words, please? One more lie, and you can go and talk to yourself. Stop confusing me here, please, said our scammer, who had no idea how to tell her about Saudi in his own words, because he probably doesn't even know where it is. Asking you to describe Saudi in your own words is confusing, perhaps because you've never been there. Yes, it is, said our man. Goodbye, said Persephone. Bye, said our man, and then thought he'd try and redeem himself. I'm a very honest and understanding man. You asked me to describe Saudi Arabia for you, as someone who hasn't been in Saudi Arabia, and you don't know anything about Saudi Arabia. I take my precious time to check out and explain things carefully for you, and why I'm here. Why are you telling me to re-explain to you? What is the meaning of that? You have to say respect and appreciate. Not everyone has time to do what I just did. I did what I did because I found more interest in you. I wanted to get to know you more, hopefully to go along with it too, but I see you are not comfortable with me, and you are rude to me at first. I haven't used any rude words to you, but you did. Phew! A little bit of punctuation goes a long way, guys. You're a very dishonest, lying toad, she said. I asked you to use your precious time to describe the place in your own words, not to waste that precious time copying and pasting. You definitely didn't explain things carefully. You copied what someone else wrote, so unless you describe it in your own words, I don't want to talk to you again. Goodbye. Goodbye, said our man. You don't have to tell me what to do with rudeness. Show respect and appreciate. Absolutely, Persephone. You really should respect and appreciate a scammer. I don't know how you can possibly not. Brandon Lindsay felt a chat with Cassandra coming on. Hello, he said. Good morning. Morning, he said. Hi, how are you doing today, friend? Good morning. He sent her some roses because she was ignoring him. Good morning. Do I know you? I don't remember who you are. I'm sorry for intruding into your privacy. You were suggested to me as a friend to add up on Facebook. Would love to know more about you if you don't mind. I assume that means I don't know you. Does it matter? He asked. I'm originally from Germany, but do live in southern Carolina, Bamberg. You? No, replied Cassandra, but I did ask you the question. It would have been good manners to answer. I haven't heard of Carolina, Bamberg. Which country is it in? United States, he said. Where in the US? Southern Carolina. Okay. How about you? Where are you from? I live in Suffolk in the east of England. Cool! I've been to Scotland before. So, how are your family, husband and kids? Are you confusing me with someone else? She asked. Nope. Just getting to know you better. Okay. Sounded as if you thought you knew my family. Not at all. Just getting to know you. So, could you give me a chance to? We could try. Where did you go in Scotland? Thanks. I went to Edinburgh. For work or holiday? I haven't been there for ages. For a job. You were working there. How long did you stay there? How many countries have you been to before now? He asked. What a strange question. Are you doing a survey? Because I'm not interested if you are. I was on a contract for 3 months, and it was a very nice place. You know, that standard scammer line. Somewhere's a very nice place. Because they can't describe it, because they've never been there. Goodness, that was a short contract. What do you do? My job here, at the rig platform, is to help determine ideal recovery processes, estimate the number of wells that can be economically drilled, and simulate future performance using sophisticated computer models. All that in 3 months, my goodness. Are you a computer expert? Can I ask for some advice? It's quite a challenging job, but I'm a hard-working man, and I strive for the best in everything I do. Our drilling platform averages 90 to 140 employees at any one time. I don't see how that answers my question, replied Cassandra. You told me you use sophisticated computer models. Are you a computer expert? 2 shifts per day, he said, and 180 to 280 for 2 two-week shifts. Are you reading what I'm asking? Replied Cassandra, or just talking to yourself? And I don't see how anyone can work 280 shifts a day. I'm using a laptop or tablets, he said. OK, I see you are talking to yourself. Please continue. If you need me to say anything, just let me know. I'm not talking to my dear, he said. No, I know that. You're talking to yourself. LOL, he said. Please continue. I'm talking to you, my dear. No, you aren't. You haven't read a single thing I've typed. So I want you to tell me more about yourself, he said. You haven't answered a single question I've asked, and you barely typed a single thing that makes sense, so you definitely are not talking to me. I read that. OK, listen. I know. Why don't you scroll back up and answer my questions one at a time? What are your questions? He asked. Assume you do know how to scroll back up. I'm not typing them again. You claim you read them, so please answer them, assuming you know how to scroll back up your screen. Yeah, OK. Hold, he said. I'll give you a clue. Scroll back to here, she said, copying the bit where she'd asked, Are you a computer expert? Can I ask for some advice? Answer those 2 questions, and then work your way down the screen. Yeah, I'm a computer expert, he said. Awesome. Now tell me how you work 280 shifts a day. It was a very short contract, my dear, and I'm sorry for not answering you earlier. Tell me how you work 280 shifts a day. That's a mistake. I wanted to 2 shifts. The rest was just a random string of numbers, she asked. No one can work that much a day. The rest was an excuse to type a load of random numbers, she asked again. Yeah, he said. How peculiar. May I ask you a computer question, as you're an expert? OK, he said. And so she asked that famous question from that video by Michael Spicer.
If you've got a Nexus portal, you have to get floxjam.com. Floxjam.com lets you put all your Steam Chain devices into one manageable stash valve.
I have a Nexus portal. Is it true that I can put all my Steam Chain devices into one stash valve? There are a pair of protruding tabs, he replied. One fits into the centre of one link of the chain. OK. I'll have a look tomorrow. What do the tabs look like? I don't really know much about that, he said. Eh? She said. I'd like to know about you, he said. I didn't realise I needed a thing with tabs. I thought I could do it all online. What are your favourite food and colours? He asked. You know, if in doubt. I love fried worm strudel, and my favourite colour is apple pinkington. What are yours? My favourite colours are blue, red and white, he said. That's most of the colours then. Food? I like to have fun. I have a great sense of humour. Food, she said. Your favourite food, or am I talking to myself again? I like a lot of things. Bright sun, good weather, sea, and mountains. I'll take that as yes, you are talking to yourself again. To which our man replied, I enjoy eating good food. What is your favourite food? She asked, or are you too stupid to read? Which would be odd for a computer expert. Seafood, he said. OK, I won't answer any questions now until you've answered them yourself first. Why are you calling me stupid? He said. Do I like that stupid to you? I have no idea what you like, replied Cassandra, except that you seem to like acting stupid. You don't read what I say. You type stupid, irrelevant rubbish. He said. Indeed, replied Cassandra, like this. She copied the bit where he'd said, I like to have fun, and I have a great sense of humour. And she said, what's your favourite food? And he said, I like a lot of things, bright sun, good weather, sea and mountains. When I asked what your favourite food is, I'd like to answer your question, he said, but you have to stop calling me stupid. You have to stop acting stupid, she said. I told you, seafood. How many times did I ask before you said that? And how many stupid, irrelevant answers did you give me first? I'll give you a clue. I asked you 4 times. Yes, 4 times. I'm sorry about that. And these were your answers. And she pasted all his answers. If you don't call that stupid, what would you call it? Sorry about my dear, he said. OK, but I won't answer any questions until you've given me your own answers first. All right. Guess what? I'm the only child of my both dead parents. Congratulations, replied Cassandra, to which our man replied, I'm an orphan. How sad. I thought you were a mature adult. Now you're saying you're a kid, so obviously you aren't a computer expert on an oil rig. Are your both parents alive, he asked. I'm an adult, not a kid. It isn't appropriate for a child to be talking to an adult they don't know. Are you calling me a child? He asked. You just told me you're a child. You told me your parents are dead and you're an orphan. I'm not going to take that. OK, he said. Please don't talk to me that way. OK? Now what's the problem? You told me your parents are dead and you're an orphan, so you're a child. No adult would say they're an orphan, or tell a random person that their parents are dead. It's OK, sweetheart, but you really shouldn't talk to adults you don't know. It isn't safe. My parents passed on when I was 27 years old, he said. Oh, how old are you now? 28? I'm 65 years old now, he said. And you? Oh dear. Do you have issues with reality? You lost your parents almost 40 years ago, but you're randomly telling me you're an orphan. An orphan at 65 years of age? That's so ridiculous that it's funny. If you really are 65 and not 15, you're old enough to be a grandfather. And I'll just add in here, so that you can all feel terribly sorry for me. I'm an orphan. Nothing, he said, growing up with my parents is not really easy for me. Oh dear. You have some serious mental health issues, don't you? Clearly you aren't a 65-year-old man. How old are you, really? And if growing up with your parents is not really easy for you, that implies that A, your parents are still alive, and B, that you are still growing up. My daughter name's Michelle, and she's 22 years old, he said. No, darling, that obviously isn't true, replied Cassandra. You clearly have some serious issues with reality. I think you need some professional help. LOL, he said. If you're still growing up with your parents, you don't have a daughter, do you? And I'm sure you can get the help you need. You might find this website helpful if you're in the US. And she gave him the web address of a mental health support organisation. Why are you telling me all this, he said. I'm trying to help you, sweetheart, she replied. I just told you. I'm 65 years old now and have a daughter. I can't decide if you're an orphan living in an orphanage or if you have a troubled home life. She copied the bit where he'd said, growing up with my parents is not really easy for me. Unless you really are 65 years old, but still think and act like a child because of some awful trauma. It's obvious you have severe issues with reality, and I can't tell from what you've said which things are real and which are your fantasy world, but I'm sure a good therapist will help you. What do you mean? He asked. Oh, now you don't think you are 65 years old. You really are very confusing, or just very confused. I just asked you a question, he said. Yes, replied Cassandra, and you've confused me now. Because I don't understand what you meant by the word don't think I'm 65. If I'm not, why should I say that? OK, I'll say it slowly. I can't decide if you are A, an orphan in an orphanage. No, I'm not. Or B, still growing up at home in difficult circumstances. C, an adult who still thinks they're a kid. No, he said. Because you've told me all 3. LOLs, he said. So shall we assume you're really a mature adult? I have a daughter, yes. Yes, so you told me. You kind of funny, he said. Let's assume you are a mature adult, approaching retirement age, with an adult daughter of your own. Yes! So you understand now, right? Oh, yes, I do, replied Cassandra. Cool! So let's start over. Let's see what we both have in common. That sounds like a really good idea. Yep! What are your favourite colour? We've agreed that I won't answer any question, unless or until you answer it yourself first, to save me having to ask you half a dozen times. So you can say something like, what's your favourite colour? Mine is green. Plus you've already asked me that. I was so hoping that you weren't just going to ask me the same silly questions from the same silly list. It's so boring. Well, it seems that you were always. What are you looking for here on Facebook? Care to take that again so it makes sense? Seems that I'm always what? Plus, we've agreed that you will give your answer to any question before I give you mine. For example, you can say, what are you looking for here on Facebook? I am looking for XXXXX. OK, ask me what you want to know. I'd like to know who you are really, because you're semi-literate and stupid. Clearly you're not 65 years old, and clearly you don't work on an oil rig. No company would employ you. Clue, she added, I know the answer. Apparently, our man realised he'd been rumbled and disappeared. Joel Fox gets a very short honorary mention, just for existing. He messaged Annie. Hope you're well, and it'd be nice to see you, he said, sending an emoji with its tongue sticking out. The stess bastards you need a real man like myself, he said. Annie didn't feel up for the conversation, so she blocked him. James Hardy thought maybe Celia was the woman of his dreams. Hello, beautiful, he said. How are you doing today? Good morning, she said. I'm just having breakfast. To save you asking if you're a scammer, not a real person. Toast and marmalade. What are you talking about, he said. Exactly what I said, replied Celia. If you're a scammer, you'd have asked me what I had for breakfast, so I saved you asking. If you aren't a scammer, you wouldn't have asked, so you got some bonus info. And if you act all fake offended, I'll know the answer, so choose your answer wisely. It's okay, he said. I'm not here to play this games. That's good, said Celia. He sent her a thumbs up. I'm at work right now, but it's fairly quiet, she said. Good, he replied. Not sure what that's supposed to mean, said Celia. Are you at work? Yes, he said. A bit later, Celia came back. I've just stopped for a lunch break. Where do you work? I'm an administrator in the admissions department of Durham University. I'm employed, he said, as a soldier in the army. I've been in the army for 17 years now. I was born and raised in Arkansas. Talking about my family background, I'm the only son of my late parents. I wasn't talking about your family background, said Celia. I was asking where you work. All right, he said. I'll assume you're in the US Army? Yes. What do you do in the US Army? She said. I know you're a soldier. Yes, I am. I'm an E6 Staff Sergeant, SSG. I also act as a platoon sergeant in the absence of the Sergeant First Class. I am the leader of my squad. I am a non-commissioned officer, and I work in the junior management of the military. OK, replied Celia. I don't know exactly what an E6 Staff Sergeant is, but I live in the UK, so I wouldn't. How old are you? I'm 48 years old, but as you know, age is just a number, he said, hopefully thinking maybe she might be a bit older than him. I'm 55, said Celia, but age is just a number. I could be any number. Hello, Ellie said. Do you care to correspond better with me? And let's get to know more about each other and see where the chemistry will lead us. I just got home from work, she said a bit later. I think corresponding better would be a good idea. Let's be honest, your correspondence couldn't get much worse, could it? To which our man replied, I want you to be totally honest and sincere with me if you are really looking for a serious and long-term relationship, because I don't want us to waste our time. I'll not like you to hide anything from me or take anything personally. I promise I'll be honest with you as well. I'm not looking for serious long-term relationship with someone who randomly contacted me on Facebook, said Celia. Take a leaf out of Celia's book there, ladies and gentlemen. If somebody randomly contacts you on social media, they probably aren't looking for a serious long-term relationship. They're probably looking for the kind of serious relationship that means that they want your money. All right then, he said. Hello, how are you doing? He said, a couple of weeks later. Oh, it's you again, said Celia. If you don't mind me asking, why are you not replying me? Possibly, replied Celia, because I was hoping to find someone intelligent to talk to. OK, I'm here again to talk about how I will be grateful for you to accept my friend relationship, he said. Oh, I suppose it's nice to have friends, said Celia. Thank you, and I will be honest. Forever, said our man. I'll be grateful if I could text you in any app, except Facebook. So you're on Google Chat? What's wrong with Facebook, asked Celia. I'm quite happy using it, thanks. OK, I don't want to miss at all times, and Facebook can easily block. I don't understand what you're saying, said Celia. The only time Facebook blocks conversations is if you're a scammer. I talking as if a problem can cause Facebook at all times, he said. My dream is to find the woman of my dreams. and I'll supply her with the best qualities she ever desires in her life. I'm so tired of coming back from work and saying that no one awaits you to talk with you about your day. It's so awful and frustrating." "I have absolutely no idea what that means," said Celia, replying to him saying, "I talking as if a problem can cause Facebook at all times." "Please type it again. In proper grammatical English that means something. Maybe, if you learn to say something sensible and intelligent, you might find someone." To which our man replied, "OK, I'll be grateful to stay with you for many years." "Please tell me what this means," said Celia, copying and pasting again. "I talk as if a problem can cause Facebook at all times. Otherwise, you won't be staying with me for even another minute." "This," he replied, "calls me badly for what you say. Can't you see I am small boy like your son that you give birth? I lose my parents in 2022 for lorry accident and want to see a good woman like you who can handle me for a long period of time." "What on earth are you babbling on about?" replied Celia. "You've been smoking too much of the wacky-backy, haven't you? It's bad for you. Shrinks the brain cells, which isn't good if you don't have very many to start with." "So, how can I use to believe you?" he said. "You could try typing something that makes sense," replied Celia, "because I honestly have no idea what that's supposed to mean." "Hello, dear. Good evening," she said. "How are you doing today?" "Good morning," said Celia the next day. "Have you stopped the funny fags and started to make sense?" "I wasn't the one texting you," he said. "Oh, great," said Celia. "A team of idiots. My account was being hacked by someone I don't know." "Hackers are usually people you don't know," said Celia. "Did you manage to recover it?" "Yes, did." "Awesome," she said. "Anyway, best to clear out all those unknown contacts the hacker made. So goodbye. He was a total idiot. Couldn't even type a sensible sentence." "I'm sorry about that," he said. "How are you doing today?" "Now I've got the real you. Maybe tell me what you do." "What I do?" "Yes, you got it," said Celia. "What does the real you do?" "I'm currently deployed in Afghanistan, Kabul, for peacekeeping," he said. Yet another one that didn't get the memo. "It's my last mission here, and will be getting ready for my retirement. I've been here in Kabul for 1.5 years now, and I'm now looking forward to returning home in 4 months' time." "Deployed as what?" asked Celia. "Presumably you work in the land that time forgot." "What are you talking about?" he asked. "What are you deployed as?" she said. "A nurse? A doctor? Some rank of soldier? An administrator? A cook?" "E6 Staff Sergeant," he said. "Oh," replied Celia, "the same as your hacker. You must have been hacked by someone you know. I still don't know what an E6 Staff Sergeant is. Is there an E5 Staff Sergeant? Or an E7 one? What's the difference between them?" "It doesn't concern you," said our man, who also didn't know the difference. "Yes, it does," said Celia. "You told me, so I'm interested to know. Or are you one of those arrogant, rude, ignorant men that thinks a woman's place is in the kitchen, not asking questions? Because if you are, you can go away." "All right, then," he replied. "Or maybe, just maybe, you aren't really an E6 Staff Sergeant, so don't know what it means. That's a possibility, isn't it? Maybe it's you that's the hacker." "Stop being naive," he said. "I hate nonsense." "Stop being rude," said Celia. "If you're going to hack people's accounts, at least learn some basic manners. Goodbye." Our man sent a single finger gesture and said goodbye, followed several weeks later by hello. But of course by then Celia was ignoring him. I hope you enjoyed this compilation of scammers who just weren't up to the grade. If you did, please like it, please share it, please comment down below, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in another video.